Hi, welcome to Pete's Corner. I'm Sapphire Cervantes.
And I'm Jared Rota.
This week, we're exploring what it's like to be an artist in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma has a long history of supporting their artists that has sadly diminished recently. Despite budget cuts across the board, we can still see artists all across the state diligently practicing their craft. But before we can talk to them, what do you think an artist is, Sapphire?
Well, let's go find out.
Well, I guess we'll catch up with her later.
All right, guys, we're here in the Student Union to see what you think makes an artist. So what do you think it means to be an artist?
To be an artist, I think it means to have passion and care about what you're making, whether it's music or art or I write legislation, so I think that's art.
I think people struggle with their confidence when it comes to creating their work because they always doubt themselves, but you just got to keep going because if you happen to make a mistake somewhere in your art, you can make art out of that mistake.
So what do you think is most inspiring about artists?
I think artists are a very specific breed because they have found something that is important to them and are being vulnerable with how they really feel. I think that's really important and super special.
I'm going back again to thinking outside the box, but it helps with other facets of life too. It just helps me think of other ways instead of just saying no to something. It's really more about other ways that you can do something, and maybe and you're not even thinking of precedents that other folks have done, just using the training and that you have prior to that just to move forward.
It's understanding how you feel on the inside and showing that through whatever medium you have decided to pursue with your art.
Here in Stillwater, artists have so many ways to grow and express themselves. From the Greenwood School of Music to Stillwater Community Center, you can find art just about anywhere, even in the most unexpected places, like Open Mic Night at Willie's Saloon.
Willie's Saloon in Stillwater, Oklahoma is home to Open Mic Night, where artists like Garth Brooks had their first public performances. The bar still has open mic nights where local performers can come and show the community their talents.
I know that this is where some very respected songwriters in the Oklahoma scene all played on this stage.
Having the ability to perform and put their content out into the community gives local artists a way to get started and connect with their listeners. Artist Isaac McClung, who also hosts open mic nights at Willie's, said that these artists are generally producing music they want the community to hear.
There's people out there making amazing music and it's not on the radio. And legitimately the best songwriter I know, I got to listen to in Willie's with like 6 other people in here.
These artists can perform their own songs as well as covers, and musician Wade Henderson said that it gives them the ability to just enjoy the performance and not focus on making money.
So this open mic gives people a chance to say, hey, I'm really not worried about, trying to make money off of this. I'm really not worried about this or that. I just want my music to be heard.
Being able to perform is one thing, but having an audience to enjoy the music is important to performers like Wade and Isaac. Every Sunday, Willie's has open mic night for anyone above the age of 21 to come and enjoy.
If you're looking for something fun to do on a Sunday night, come to Willie's and support your local artists.
You can't beat an open mic because you ain't going to hear that music on the radio. You aren't going to hear that music in your car. You're not going to hear that music anywhere else. The only time you're going to hear that is there.
Willie's continues to give artists the ability to reach new listeners and get their music out into the world. For some, it is a hobby, and for others, it's their dream. But having a place to perform and connect to other musicians is what makes the open mic night such a great place for local performers. For Pete's Corner, I'm Rebecca Griggs.
And I wish I was who I appear.
Thank you for that, Rebecca, and welcome back, Sapphire.
Oh, I had a lot of fun out there while you were sitting here.
So wherever you went, did you find out what you think art means to you?
I really think I did. I think art is one of the biggest forms of self-expression, and really what people put out, it shows a lot about them. And I think one of my favorite, I have to say, is a little bit of rap, I like to hear, though it's kind of poetic, if you think about it. A little poetry in it.
Okay, I could definitely see that. Well, here to help all forms of art is the Tulsa Artist Fellowship. Tori Wallach has more.
Pursuing a career in art can be rewarding, creative, and fun. However, it isn't always easy and challenges do arise. That's why the Tulsa Artist Fellowship is here to help. Created in 2015, this program gives artists the space, tools, and time needed to create their work right here in Oklahoma.
I mean, I think the number one goal is simply to provide the support and then really step away and let those artists with this time and space and financial support be able to lean in to their practice.
Artists from all different mediums are encouraged to apply. Once a fellow is selected, they are given a $20,000 award along with free housing and studio space located in Tulsa's Art District. When this program was first created, it started out with just 12 artists. Today, it supports 62 artists with designated spots reserved for Alaska Native, Native American, and Native Hawaiian art practitioners. But the fellowship provides much more to its fellows than money and housing. It gives them peace of mind and allows them to be worry-free when it comes to finances.
Well, it has allowed me the time and the space to create and to not worry about any financial worries, and to also really explore and experiment instead of just worrying about what sells.
It also offers them a chance to be a part of a growing community of other artists.
It's rare that you are around 60 other people who are devoted to, their artistic practice, and it's really inspiring. I love that.
The people here are what makes the program amazing for me. Being able to make friends and live and work in this community with a bunch of really incredibly talented, interesting, hardworking, dedicated people.
The location of the fellowship program is also beneficial to artists.
It's really great because the artists are so close to these arts institutions, and they're able to form relationships, have these discussions, and everyone gets to benefit from the works that are being created here.
No matter what art the artist makes, there's a home for them here in Oklahoma at the Tulsa Artist Fellowship. For Pete's Corner, I'm Tori Wallach.
Thanks for that, Tori. It is pretty interesting that Tulsa is importing artists to be a part of their community.
Now, Jared, tell me, have you ever been to any type of art gallery or concert here in Oklahoma?
Yeah, I actually did a story on the Stillwater Arts Festival last year. That was pretty interesting. I've been to a couple of concerts. I saw Broncho and Run the Jewels, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I have no clue who that is.
You should check them out.
It's
Run the
okay.
Jewels is rap. You might like them.
Oh, really? I really might have to check them out. I know
Really
we
should.
every Thursday listen to funk together, so.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, you can't deny the funk.
You cannot deny the funk. That's what they say.
How do you think, small towns are doing with their art?
It seems like they're having a little bit of trouble, but whenever I did go to the Stillwater Arts Festival last year, they had a lot of really interesting stuff. They had tons and tons of vendors doing all of these different kinds of arts. It was really cool to see. It was kind of inspiring.
Oh, cool. See, I'm from the city, so coming to Stillwater, I really didn't expect it to be like home at all. But I actually visited the Stillwater Museum of Art, and it's pretty neat. A lot of students volunteer there, and I find it quite interesting to go to.
Oh yeah, no, I love to go see new forms of art, especially the ones that our fellow classmates are doing. It's really interesting stuff.
Big things are happening.
Oh, for sure.
Now we're going to join up with Bailey Patel to see what it's like to teach in rural Oklahoma.
This is Timothy Shade. Mr. Shade teaches elementary, middle, and high school art for Morrison Public Schools. With only 722 people in Morrison, there's not enough teachers to cover all the jobs, so Mr. Shade wears many hats, including driver's ed teacher, geography teacher, and bus driver. Despite his many different roles at Morrison Public School, being an art teacher is his true love. And at high school, he gets to teach a more detailed art class. This is where he gets to connect with his students one-on-one to help them discover their passion for art and grow as artists.
When you have that kid that you see it in their eyes and they're like, it's not only that they get it, it's like, hey, I like this. And it's like you open up a whole new world for them.
With the smaller class sizes at Morrison High School, Mr. Shade has been able to go beyond just teaching art. He's created an art family, a place where students can feel loved and accepted, and somewhere where someone will always have their backs.
And because if it's a small school, you get to know the kids, and sometimes you become like their parent and you try to help them along when they've got problems and all that stuff, because we are more like family.
Mr. Shade is not just a teacher for his students. He's a friend, a mentor, and at times can be the most impactful person in their lives.
I've gone to Mr. Shade so many times for, that fatherly figure.
Art is just the starting point for Mr. Shade and his students. It's a way for them to bond, create, and express themselves. And it's more than just drawing and painting. It's about the people and the relationships they make.
It's not all about the art. Sometimes it's about the person themselves, and I like to see that. I like to see them grow like that.
The art family at Morrison High School will go much farther than just a class. It's a bond that they'll have forever. For Pete's Corner, I'm Bailey Battelle.
Thanks, Bailey. It's crazy to see that small towns with a population less than 1,000 still put an emphasis on art. So, Jared, tell me, who's your favorite artist from Oklahoma?
Well, I guess that really depends on how you define art. Brad Pitt was born here. Everyone loves them some Brad Pitt.
I think
Can't
he
deny
is
that.
art, if I'm being
Brad Pitt is art. That's just undeniable. But as an OSU student, you got to go with Garth Brooks. He just lived right down the road. Garth Brooks is just exceptional country.
I mean, we've got a lot of country stars. We got Reba McEntire, Toby Keith. I mean,
they're all over the place.
We're all over here in Oklahoma.
We make the best country music here. It's just a fact.
Apparently. All right, now our producer is sitting with 87-year-old Jazz Hall of Fame drummer Washington Rucker to get his perspective on art throughout Oklahoma's history. Take it away, Isaac.
Thank you so much. We're joined here with Mr. Washington. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. A little rainy, but wonderful.
So you moved out to California quite some time ago, during your college years, right? How does it feel to be back in Oklahoma?
Well, it's always great. I come back here to get replenished.
Well, you grew up in the Greenwood district, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little interested to know how the music scene was in Greenwood, or if there was a music scene.
It was vibrant. You had several clubs on this end of town, the Flamingo being one. On the other end, you had the Big Ten Ballroom and the Two Deuces, I think it was, the Four Deuces. I played quite a bit in the various clubs around here when I was 15, 16 years old, so it really started me on my music career, and I spent a lot of time away.
How did you transition from choir to drums, or did you just kind of go forward playing both?
Well, I
both?
never really stopped playing drums,
Yeah.
and all drummers want to sing for some odd reason. And I will say a song I wrote in 1961 that I recorded actually as a demo. Somebody found it in England and re-released it.
Yeah.
But they found the song I did on acetate, which is something you probably don't know about. They found it in a trash bin, and they released it. The guy called me and asked me, he said, "Man, you wrote this song, I'd like to release it." Cool.
Will you say you're more passionate about singing or
No,
drumming?
about playing. The drums have always been my passion because I can express myself more. Of late, probably the last 15, 20 years, I have begun to do a lot of writing. I've written like 4 books, which is really one of the reasons I came down here. The drums have always been my passion, and music has taken me all over the world, so I got to be somewhat loyal to music.
Okay, we're gonna take a break, but don't go away, because we'll have more from Mr. Rucker after these messages.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars, like fresh-packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8.
Pizza, pizza.
Introducing Lincoln Black Label at Diffie Ford Lincoln. Designed to impress those with impeccable taste, Lincoln Black Label features a collection of interior themes and a host of exclusive membership privileges, inspired by attention to detail and a love of automobiles. With Lincoln Black Label, you'll enjoy an extended premium maintenance plan that covers wear items or even remote vehicle delivery. Lincoln Black Label isn't about luxury ownership, it's about membership. Lincoln Black Label, exclusively at Diffie Ford Lincoln.
At ASAP Energy, our goal is to provide the best customer service for whatever our clients need.
My relationship with ASAP Energy came about in 2007. I was wanting to build a convenience store.
I didn't know how to do it. I'd never been in the business. I just felt comfortable with Rick. And so I knew that I wanted to do business with a guy like that. Integrity, loyalty, and family. I would recommend that to anybody. Thanks for taking a chance on me.
At ASAP Energy, everything matters.
Where were you born? It's a question asked all the time. Because where you're from shapes who you are, inspires how you do things. And when that inspiration comes from a place this refreshing, this majestic, this, well, you get the idea. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.
Welcome back to Pete's Corner, where I'm joined with Oklahoma Jazz Hall of Famer Washington Rucker. How did the music scene then differ from the music scene as it is today?
Music then, there was a certain kind of purity in the music. Now with the advent of the drum machine and all these electronic things, you get a lot of plastic music. It's talented in what they do, you know, but, and so I don't disregard that, they make too much money. But if I had a choice. So it's changed considerably, and and I think there's a lot more camaraderie, because then it was a lot of, now there's a lot of competition, you know, who's the bird, like, just perform the music. If people like it, they like it. They don't, they don't. And you'll know. And then you'll get yourself a real job if they don't like your music.
How would you say that your style and how you approach music has kind of changed as the industry has?
Well, I think the industry has changed, but you know, jazz by its very nature is open for change because it's always moving. So the music is always moving because musicians are always looking for different ways to express themselves musically. And the music has changed, and today everybody sounds the same. But then I'm considered a relic at 82 years old.
Yeah.
And I accept that. You know, I'm cool.
Yeah. How do you think your roots in Oklahoma has influenced you as a musician?
As a musician? Well, you know, I always give Oklahoma credit for everything that whatever I accomplish. I don't ever say, oh, yeah, I'm from New York, man, I'm from blah, blah, because I've been all these places or played in them. But no, I'm from Oklahoma. And Oklahoma, yeah, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. You know, because you got a lot of musicians come from here. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you get that kind of cross-section of really, really good musicians, and it makes you proud to be an Okie, you know. And I come to Tulsa to get, as I said, recharged, as it were.
I want to thank you so much for sitting down and having this interview with us.
I had a good time, and I hope you much success in your career, both of you, you know, and your endeavors, and hey, do well in school. Easiest thing you'll ever do in life.
Thanks, Isaac. So Jared, where do you feel you're most creative?
Well, I've got to say, it's probably in the shower, just blaring some music, you know, get a little bit of Celine Dion going. It's good for the soul. It'll just open you up, and, you know, I think that's whenever I'm my most creative.
I would say the exact same thing. I definitely hit those Beyonce notes, you know what I'm talking about, some Ariana Grande. I used to, as a little kid, try and write songs in the fog.
Oh,
yeah, I was a real artist. It's okay, no big deal.
I can tell.
My parents thought it was cute. I don't know what happened, but whatever.
Hey, it's okay. There's still time. You know, you can bring that back.
Hopefully. Well, one Oklahoman feels most creative in her art studio. For more on that, we have Haley Carr.
Okay, I have one right there, one right there, one right there, one right there, and a few in my room.
Most students' apartments are adorned with the art of other artists, but Oklahoma artist Bailey Robinson's apartment is filled with original portraits of her muses.
I feel most like myself when I create something.
Although, Robinson says being an artist in Oklahoma has its unique challenges.
It is hard because it's just not a huge thing here, and people don't really understand the value of art and the time you put into it, but there are certain people here who push me.
She says she has many muses.
My boyfriend Alex, this is my little brother.
But none are quite like the ones she has at the Oklahoma City Homeless Shelter.
The first one I did was a picture of a man, and you could see how much he had really been through in his life. You could see it was not easy.
So far, Robinson has made 2 different portraits for the shelter. The second portrait had a very different tone.
I saw she had been through stuff, but she was not letting it affect her. She was very happy regardless of what life had thrown at her, so I chose to make it very colorful, and she just inspired me to be that same way. No matter, how much life beats you down, you can still smile and be a bright light to somebody else.
She is so in tune with emotions and all of that, and so it's really nice to have Bailey around because she can read people super easily and can tell exactly what's going on, and it really comes across in her art too.
I always save the eyes for last because they're my favorite part, and it really makes a person.
And even though she has other outlets in her life to make her happy,
they are our masterpieces.
Robinson insists that her art and the way it affects people is what makes her proud to be an Oklahoma artist. For Pete's Corner, I'm Haley Carr.
Thanks, Haley. Jared, after all these stories, I'm getting a sudden need to make my own art. Now that's a lot more like it, Jared.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're gonna take a quick painting break, but stay tuned because when we get back, you get to see the masterpieces we've created.
Y'all stay tuned.
The deli department at Homeland is Oklahoma's headquarters for party trays. Enjoy the time with family and friends at your next event, and let your neighborhood Homeland create the perfect fruit, deli, or cheese tray for you. The party planners at Homeland will help you choose the perfect party food, sized just right for your guests. Call us, stop in, or order online, and we'll make it ready for pickup on your schedule. Make your next party special with a party tray from your neighborhood Homeland.
Good to be home, Homeland.
Love these things. Hilarious. I'm sorry, force of habit.
As long as you are you, it's Miller time.
Hi, it's Sam at Louis Grill and Bar, here to introduce our new menu items from south of the border. Come try our new poblano chicken tacos, or the ever-popular sriracha shrimp tacos. At Louis, where you come for the food, but stay for the fun.
It's hard to imagine my life before her, or a day without her. So much of what I take for granted simply wouldn't exist. She is the force that holds our life together. She is my everything, the center of my universe, from Forevermark. The diamond, the promise. Available at Louis Jewelers.
All right, Jared, you ready to show them what we got?
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, you look pretty good in my portrait, if I do say so myself. I'm a little artist over here. I got the whole jawline going on, all your little scruff. Perfect.
Honestly, it's pretty good. I like mine a little bit better though. I might have missed the memo where we were supposed to draw each other, but if I do say so myself, I think it still has a bit of a striking resemblance. It could just be me.
I don't know whether I should be offended or...
I mean it in the absolute best way.
Okay, I'll take it. Well, our producers caught up with Director of Poetic Justice and TED Talk speaker, Ellen Stackable. Check it out.
I think we're hardwired as human beings to express ourselves. And when that's stopped up, it's really difficult to go on. And I think you can say it and you can speak your truth, but it's different when you write it. There's a physicality, a permanence to writing that is so impactful. So we do a lot of different kinds of writings. We do odes, we do haikus, we do closure letters, we do letters to younger self. Letters are interesting too, because they open up parts of your heart that other kinds of writing do. So our emphasis is really on self-expression and healing rather than a particular form. So they're all over the map.
Whew, I'm glad I got that out of my system. Did you like my painting?
Oh, I loved it personally. I mean, I think that's the kind of art that should be hanging above every single person's mantle in America.
If it's not hanging above yours, I'm going to be a little upset.
I'm going to put it above my mantle the second I get my hands on it, that's for sure.
Thank you. But what do you think it's like to be a musician with a family in Oklahoma?
You know, it's probably really tough. It's a lot of traveling to go and play live shows all over the country. You know, I bet it causes a lot of strains on these families.
Especially if they have small children, that would be so hard.
Put a lot of stress on the other partner for sure.
Oh, for real. All right, we're gonna throw it out to Danny Dalla Batista, who's out in the field and is gonna tell us a little bit more about artists in Oklahoma.
Art can bring its viewers to all kinds of emotions and thoughts. For some, into a state of confusion, maybe into tears or into a bright smile. As viewers get caught up in what they're seeing, they might begin to eventually wonder about the artist behind it and where they began. Abstract artist Sarah K. Michael opens up about what got her into art.
I started painting when I was in high school, and just kind of abstract angels, I kind of became something I did for family members or friends who had lost loved ones.
Though Sarah did not major in art, she still continued to dabble into it throughout her college career and even afterwards.
The last couple years of my marriage, I was making for friends and family and some designers, and then I went through a really bad divorce, and I felt like it was my calling.
Sarah knew after her divorce, she needed to provide for her children, so she decided to take a shot with her artwork.
I went from being a stay-at-home mom to a single mom, and it was probably one of the scariest things to put it out there. Before that, I just kind of, people would offer to pay me. I was like, oh no, that's silly. This is just a hobby. But I started an Instagram page, and I just posted it one day and prayed that somebody would like it or comment, and it just kind of led into a whole career.
Because of how much art helped Sarah through her rough times, she decided to start art classes to help spread the positivity it gave to her. Even if you don't know how to do any kind of art like me, you're still more than welcome to join.
Been to one of her painting classes, and so she really explains it well, and my picture wasn't very good, but I mean everybody else's looked good, and she taught it really well, and it was fun.
Such a place of happiness and healing for me that I thought I had some interest in it, and I was like, if that can bring a little bit of healing or happiness to other people, then I definitely want to encourage and give people the confidence and, you know, the tools, and, you know, just to have that knowledge, just to know that if you're ever in a dark place and you come take a class and it brings you some joy, then you always have that.
Sarah not only uses art as an outlet, but to also help bring others therapeutic healing, even if it's just for a moment. From Pete's Corner, I'm Danny Dalla Batista.
Thanks, Danny. Now, Jared, I've had a lot of fun today. This has been a good time.
Yeah, me too. I've learned a lot, you know, had a lot of fun. It's been great.
Okay, you're going to have to remind me of that band you said earlier so I can go check them out.
Broncho. You should definitely check them out.
Is there a specific song?
Class Historian is their biggest one.
Okay,
but,
they're
you know,
from
I like
Oklahoma,
their new album
so I'm definitely going to have to, look them up.
You have to support the local bands, for sure.
Well, sorry to inform you guys, but this is the last show of the semester, so we want to wish you all a happy holidays. I'm Sapphire Cervantes.
And I'm Jared Rota. Thanks for joining.